And I told y'all back in September, Hurricane Helene was just round one. And until Asheville, until Buncombe County, until y'all do right by our ancestors, every season you're going to go through something. You owe black people. You stole their land from them. You made them work and make you wealthy. You owe them. And then you lied to them back in 2022 and you told them, oh, reparations is coming. And then you never signed off on it. And now you acting like you never said that. So you played mind games with our people. But guess what? The ancestors not playing games. Western North Carolina is expected to receive some of the strongest winds since Helene swept through the Carolinas and Georgia in late September, along with one of the coldest nights as the recovery continues. Now, this article was posted Thursday. What I'm talking about right now is actually happening right now today. And I looked up the weather. 32-mile-per-hour wind gust. It feels like 30 degrees. And a lot of people don't have heaters. They can't afford heaters. They can't find heaters. See, that hurricane really shocked a lot of Caucasian people because they thought the government was on their side. But when this happened, the government was stopping people from coming in on helicopters to help them. They was actually turning them around like, don't help them. So this really opened their eyes, and they trying to get us to defend for them. But where were y'all when our people were going through things? Why y'all never spoke on the slaves y'all had up there in those mountains? Why y'all never told our history? Why is that town? Why is Asheville still a sundown town? Yeah, you got 10% black people live there, but don't get caught asking for directions at 10 p.m. at night. But the thing I want to do, I want to show y'all why Asheville is going through this. I want to go back to the past just to show y'all why North Carolina, Asheville, Buncombe County, why they have to go through this and why it would never stop. In 1888, John Humphreys was hung by a rope after a white farm girl accused him of assaulting her. Local authorities arrested Humphreys, but he was placed in a locked cage in the county jail to protect him from the L word mob. Despite the efforts of law enforcement to identify a mob member, no one was held accountable for Humphreys, being hung by a rope. In 2021, the Buncombe Community Remembrance Project and the Martin Luther King Association of Asheville and Buncombe County placed a historical marker near the former jail site to remember Humphreys. So this happened back in 1888. It took you to 2021 to put in a historical marker up there to remember this man. And see, look, these days they don't put historical markers up. No, they don't do that. All they do, let's say a cop unalives your family member and he did it, on purpose. They just give the family money now. That's it. That's the historical money. That's the historical marker. They'll give your family $2-3 million and say, move on with life. Then the cops go harass you forever if you don't move out of that county, if you don't move out of that town. From 1877 to 1950, it was 120 black people hung from trees. And I always tell y'all, when they give you 120, multiply that times 100, because they ain't gonna tell you the real number in North Carolina. You think it was just only 120 black people? No, it was way more than that. So I just told y'all one story. Imagine all the other stories about our people. Imagine how many Caucasian girls lied on black men. But let me show you how the ancestors get revenge. Yes, bodies were found in trees after a storm in North Carolina. Hurricane Helene, a survivor described seeing bodies in trees and under rubble in Black Mountain, North Carolina after the storm. The storm unalived at least 166 people in 6 states, with nearly half of the deaths in North Carolina. Many of the victims were hit by falling trees or trapped in flooded homes and cars. So you telling me this is a coincidence? And you gotta realize in the South, a lot of trees been up for hundreds of years, thousands of years. Those same trees they hung our people from fell on their house. It fell on their cars and unalived them. Those same rivers, that same body of water they threw our people in, they drowned our people in, was that same water that carried their house away, that just destroyed their roads. And you telling me that's a coincidence? Look at these pictures. That doesn't even look real. I've been alive 34 years. I've been through multiple hurricanes, Hurricane Katrina. Even though Hurricane Katrina was bad, this was like something I never seen before. Even they said it was a biblical disaster. Slaves in Asheville, North Carolina experienced many hardships, including forced labor. They made these people wealthy, and they have the nerve to call, read that, they got the nerve to call our people lazy after everything they did. Our ancestors made them wealthy. So today, their families had the nice homes in North Carolina. They had all the land. But look, check this out. Separation of families. Enslaved people were considered property and could be sold, bought, or inherited. This led to the separation of many families. So when it came to our ancestors, where's the sympathy? Where was the sympathy when you separated families? And this went on all across the world with our people. You separated our people, and today we still paying for that. And why does it take YouTubers to teach this history? Why they don't teach this history in school? And the more you read, you start to understand, okay, this why they don't teach it. This why they trying to take away that part of history out, because it was so horrible, but they want to keep telling us, man, stop talking about slavery. That was a long time ago, but they always want to bring up their hero stories, their past, the wars they won. They always want to talk about American history, but when it comes to our history and what our people went through, oh, stop talking about it. No, we ain't doing that. And then you have a lot of people saying, well, man, these people ain't know about it. How? These people know their whole family tree. They know their great-great-grandfather had slaves. And then you can't tell me they don't know, because Asheville is named after Samuel Ash. He was the governor of Asheville, and he was a slave owner. So look, I just told y'all, a lot of our people, a lot of our ancestors were separated. They even inherited some of our ancestors. They sold and they bought our ancestors. But check this out. This was said after Hurricane Helene, missing people. It was difficult to account for how many people were missing because of the many small communities and trailer parks in the area. Psychological trauma. Some people experienced psychological trauma because they didn't know if their loved ones had been rescued. So this hurricane caused psychological trauma to them. They talking about it. They writing about it. They putting it in articles. But what you think slavery did for us? You think just because it was many years ago that we got over it? No, that ruined a lot of things for black community. So when people talk bad about the black community, you always got to talk about slavery, because that's what started. They did this on purpose. They wanted this on purpose. And then in the 60s in North Carolina, that's when they started building projects and ghettos. Black people had their own communities. Black people built Asheville, and they took it away from them, and they gave them projects and ghettos in the 60s. So imagine how our ancestors felt when they was being sold. Imagine how our ancestors felt when their families was being broken up and they never saw them again. So you want me to have sympathy for y'all, and y'all never talked about this? Y'all never gave our people those reparations? You got people in our community that don't know their grandparents. Do you know how it feels when you know yourself? Do you know how it feels when you know your family, when you know your family, bloodline, when you know the family tree? You feel confident. They broke a lot of that confidence in our community, and they did it on purpose. But like I said, this is round two. Now you got all winter, and it's going to be a long, cold winter if you already going through this in November. And look, this the crazy part. If y'all would have gave black people reparations back in 2022, like you promised, you know how many black people would be up in Asheville helping them people? We'll shake Asheville back so quick. You know how many black truck drivers will be in Asheville bringing loads to Asheville? We would shake Asheville back so quick. But you lied to the people. And to the people who always saying, stop talking about slavery, it's over, it's never over. What they did to us, it still affects us today. And they think the ancestors just gonna let them slide. No, it's not happening like that. Every season, you're gonna go through something. So Merry Christmas and Happy Thanksgiving. I'm out.